there ain't no doubt I love this land.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Central Valley Talk. My name is Ray Johns, and the name of my show is Voices Not Yet Heard. And we hope that'll be a vehicle for you, for your voice to be heard. I'm sure most of us watched the Republican National Convention this past Monday night. And I want you to know that I was particularly impressed with the controversial sheriff from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Mr. Clark adamantly opposed Black Lives Matter. And he also talked about his opposition to this current administration that appears to have adopted these racially radical activists. Here's the clip.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to make something very clear. Blue lives matter in America. I stand before you tonight with a heavy heart as the law enforcement community prepares to bury three of Baton Rouge, Louisiana's finest. But there is some good news out of Baltimore, Maryland, as Lieutenant Brian Rice was acquitted on all charges. In the malicious prosecution of activist State's Attorney Marilyn Mosby. Now I want to talk to you about something important. Indeed, a concept that 5 law enforcement officers were murdered and 9 more were wounded for earlier this month, and for which 3 more were murdered 2 days ago in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and that is the importance of making America safe again.
I'm back. You know, I really don't know what quite to make of this Black Lives Matter thing, other than I label it a very racist organization. I think it is. I think it promotes hate, and I think that any organization that promotes hate in this country, especially against certain segments of society, should themselves be categorized and labeled. Whether it be the Ku Klux Klan, the neo-Nazi party, or Black Lives Matter. You know, one does not attain justice by unjust endeavors. We're going to go to another clip really quickly of Rudy Giuliani and his speech at the Republican National Convention.
What we witnessed in Ferguson, in Baltimore, and Baton Rouge was a collapse of the social order. So many of the actions of the Occupy movement and Black Lives Matter transcends peaceful protest and violates the code of conduct we rely on. I call it anarchy. You see, American law enforcement officers understand that race is and has been a heated issue in our country. Most appreciate the vital need for thoroughness and transparency and pursuit of the greater good in their actions and in their investigations. These are truths that are self-evident to me and which I practice, and they are the truths that Donald Trump understands and supports.
Okay, I'm back. I'm glad you saw that. I thought you needed to see that. We're going to go to a clip, not right now, but in just a few minutes after I say a few words about Rudy Giuliani and what he said about this. You know, my thoughts are basically that, you know, there's nothing constructive about hate, nothing at all. Hate destroys. And there's so many things wrong with a group of people who march down the street chanting, "Pigs in a blanket, fry them up like bacon." I mean, that burns me. It really does. I'm an African American, and when I hear that, it really, really makes me mad. And I'm so glad that we have people, celebrities like Charles Barkley, stepping up to the mic, because it takes a person to do this. I have no problem doing it at all, because it's wrong, and it shouldn't happen. You know, blue lives matter, as the great sheriff said. They do matter. Patriotic blue lives matter. Do black lives matter? Absolutely. Black lives matter, white lives matter, brown lives matter, yellow lives matter, red lives matter. All lives matter. And I would actually like to see an organization in this country about all lives matter, where people get together. For instance, I don't know if anyone saw the clip, and I think it was someplace in Louisiana, where the police chief, wonderful man, reached out to Black Lives Matter, and they had a big barbecue somewhere on a lake or in a park or something, and they talked about their differences. They didn't solve everything in one night. It's impossible. But I think an all lives matter movement in this country could do that. I don't have the answer, but collectively there is an answer to this problem, and it's becoming a major problem, ladies and gentlemen, in this country. Now, I would like to go to another clip, if we could, of Rudy Giuliani. We're going to go to that.
America, there's no white America, there is just America! What happened to it? Where did it go? How was it flown away? I know we can change it, because I did it by changing New York City from the crime capital of America to the safest large city in the United States.
Okay, we had a little problem with that, ladies and gentlemen. What we're going to do is go back here live, and we're going to hear Mr. Giuliani, because what he has to say is very significant. So we're live to him.
I did for New York, Donald Trump will do for America. Thank you. 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 Thank you, New York. For a New Yorker for once on the ticket, Donald Trump. I'm here to speak to you about a very serious subject: how to make America safe. The vast majority of Americans today do not feel safe. They fear for their children. They fear for themselves. They fear for our police officers who are being targeted with a target on their back. We pray for our police officers in Dallas and Baton Rouge and their families. And we say thank you to the Cleveland Police Department for protecting us. Thank you. We know the risk you're taking. And we say thank you to every police officer and law enforcement agent who's out tonight protecting us, black, white, Latino, of every race, every color, every creed, every sexual orientation. When they come to save your life, they don't ask if you are black or white. They just come to save you. also reach out. We reach out our arms with understanding and compassion to those who have lost loved ones because of police shootings, some justified, some unjustified. Those that are unjustified must be punished. Those that are justified, we must apologize to. It's time to make America safe again. It's time to make America one again. One America! What happened? What happened to? There's no black America. There's no white America. There is just America! What happened to it? Where did it go? How was it flown away? I know we can change it because I did it by changing New York City from the crime capital of America to the safest large city in the United States. What I did for New York, Donald Trump will do for America.
I'm glad you saw that because I wanted those two clips to be together. Now, as I understand it, Black Lives Matter has made some statements in regards to both what was said by Sheriff Clark and the former mayor of New York, Rudy Giuliani. And their statement, as I understand it, was that they focus on black dignity, and if I've got it right, I think exactly what they said was the dignity, and I have it here, and I want to make sure that I'm right. So let me read it. I usually don't read, but let me read this. The dignity and worth of Black Lives Matter. Now I ask you, is that akin to an oxymoron? You know, I mean, how do you walk down the streets chanting, pigs in a blanket, fry them up now? I mean, what kind of dignity, what kind of worth and dignity is that? It's not, you know. I'm going to hit you with a statistic that just stifled me today, in fact. 90% of black victims were killed by black offenders. 90%. That's 9 out of 10. Here's my suggestion for Black Lives Matter. You want to walk through the streets, and especially in my town, in Fresno, walk through your own streets. Clean up your own streets first, because that's where the problem is, ladies and gentlemen. You know, it's not with the police. Are there bad police shootings? Absolutely. And they need to be held accountable for that. But that's not where the problem lies here. The problem lies in the black community. I need to tell you a story, and I think it starts with the parents. And I realize that there are more one-parent homes in this country than ever. Fortunately, I didn't have that. I grew up in a small farming community of Chowchilla. Wonderful place to grow up. And my parents, both hard-working parents, taught us the difference from right and wrong. You know, I can recall one day walking out of a store, and we used to go, it was great fun to go to we lived way out in the country, to come to the town to buy groceries, and we would buy groceries, and they would put them in big blocks, big paper boxes. And my brother and I, we bought so many groceries. On the way into town, we'd ride in the back of the pickup, which was always fun for an 11-year-old kid. My brother was 9. And on the way back, there were so many groceries that we had to ride up front with our parents. Well, I remember one day we walked out of the store, and my father said to me, he said, "Go help that lady with her groceries. Help her put them in the car." She was an elderly lady. And I started to walk away, and Dad said, "And don't accept any money from this woman," you know. So I did, and she tried to pay me, and I told her, I remember it made my dad laugh. I said, "My dad told me that not to take any money because it was the right thing to do." And she walked over to the car and complimented my parents on my behavior. Now, it has to start somewhere, ladies and gentlemen. It has to start somewhere. This is wrong. It's wrong what's happening to our men in blue, Patriotic blue lives matter just as much as black lives, just as much as white lives. I have a wonderful show for you today. Gary Clemente is on his way now, but before that, I'm going to bring over Catherine Davis. And this lady is a wealth of information as far as health. She's walking over here now. I'm going to introduce her. And she's going to tell you, I'm going to ask her some questions, but she told me some things prior to the show that really interested me. And
good to see you again.
Nice to see you, ma'am. Now, you were explaining to me earlier, which really piqued my interest. Go ahead.
Well, let's go from piquing your interest to let's go back to Fresno and the importance of everyone in Fresno.
Okay. We can do that.
I've got a lot. I could go on a lot. I was born in Hawaii. My parents moved to Virginia. And yes, I did go to a segregated school. Mm-hmm. And yes, I was exposed to so much that my parents left and came to California. All lives do matter. And I observed something yesterday, and I would like to share it. And this is
Please do.
Thank you, Ray, so much. Is that with All Lives Mattering, we have seniors here in Fresno. We have seniors everywhere. Well, at this point in time, I'm helping my boyfriend, who's Haven Young, with his parents, and his mother's in the hospital. So before this, I've been driving them around. In Fresno, seniors who qualify have the ability to get script to ride taxis. Now, I've been taking Dean and Betty to the the Veterans Building in Clovis. And yesterday we went to the bus transit at Manchester. And I want seniors to know that they can purchase $100 worth of script each month for $25.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So, and they can buy that every month, and they can stockpile it so that when they need to go to doctors, need to go to the hospital, unexpected things, that they are able to use that. So for every dollar that goes on the meter, seniors pay a quarter. Now, with our transportation problem in my particular situation, it is very good, and I found out yesterday that a surrogate can purchase for the seniors. So I will be put on Dean and Betty's account so that I can go and pick up their script for them each month so that they can remain living in their homes and be independent.
We're going to put your phone number up on so that people can call you.
Thank you. I'd love to share this with people. I'm a networker. I'm a retired school teacher. I love people, and all people.
All lives matter, don't they?
All lives matter.
I love that.
My last teaching assignment was at Columbia on the west side, and I would go straight back there in a heartbeat.
Thank you. Now, we're going to talk a little bit about your business here. Now, you were sharing with me prior to about the plant, and I want you to tell the cancer story, because I think this is very significant, and it sold me. So I think that everyone needs to hear this.
Well, I am part of Zija International, and Zija is founded by Ken Brailsford, who was the father of encapsulation of herbs for all of us, and he also owned Nature's Sunshine and Unicity. So he's a very wealthy man, and he heard about this plant, Moringa oleifera, on the Discovery Channel, and how it is the most nutritious botanical on earth.
Wow.
And that it can give us our vitamins and our amino acids and just so many things. It's just so much to...
But it actually did cure cancer in this case. Could you tell that?
No, that was what this woman told. Okay, his mother had cancer when he was a young child, and a woman told him to go into the desert to get some sort of plant, and that make it into a tea or to encapsulate it or whatever, and it would cure her cancer, and it did. So he went on and founded Unicity and Nature's Sunshine, which are still in existence because God has given us all the things that we need to stay healthy, to stay vibrant, to keep our intellect. On last Thursday, I went to a meeting in Pleasanton in which Dr. Plant, the lead scientist for Zija International, spoke, and we were talking about that most kinds of, let's see, I've got my notes right here just to share some of the things. One thing is 70% of our population are on prescription drugs that are for existence support. So we're taking at least one prescription drug that we have to stay alive.
And I'm going to tell you something, and what
and
I've heard about that, if I can
yes,
just
go
interject this
ahead.
a minute, that everything that you take that's a chemical drug has some adverse effect.
Absolutely.
You know, and I've talked to people that have done things to get away from that, like high blood pressure, and they're much better. And so if this could possibly help something like this, I think it would be.
There are so many things. Well, I was, Dr. Plant was giving us things that are going on, and I was blown away that each person eats 3/4 of a pound of sugar a week. Well, I was corrected. That is a day.
Are you kidding me?
A day. So last night I took my scales and zeroed it out. I put a glass on it, zeroed it out, and my drinking glass at home, totally to the top, was 12 ounces, and that's 3/4 of a pound of sugar.
Oh,
I'm
my
going,
goodness.
how am I doing this? I looked on the back of the bacon at my girlfriend's house. It has sugar in it. I'm looking at everything now.
You can't
Not
hardly
that
find
I-
anything that doesn't have sugar in
I
it.
know. Or these chemicals are things that you can't read. So I'm very passionate about the Moringa oleifera because it's giving me the nutrients that my body needs. We know that our food is not as healthy as it has been. And the products from the Zija International support us eating right, support exercise, and the ability to remove toxins from our bodies from their different line of products. Tonight, which is Thursday, there will be a meeting at Denny's on Shaw and First where we will have some of the top money earners discussing the company as well as the products. And then here at Mike Briggs Studio on Saturday at 2 o'clock and every second and fourth Saturday.
Okay.
Haven and I will be here, and Kong, and we'll answer everybody's questions and give you all the details and everything. I'll go over my notes that I put on charts about this wonderful meeting I went to. So please join us.
Well, let me ask you
Yeah.
a couple of questions here about
Okay.
this. Now, first of all, what does it cost the consumer? Because
The
I'm sure that's the
consumer,
question that
each
people are
day
asking.
they pack it, and they have a variety of things. This is Super Mix. This has 2 servings of the Moringa oleifera. This is the XM Plus, which is my favorite.
Now, what is that exactly?
This is 1 serving of the Moringa oleifera, the proprietary Zija blend. Which
What is the difference between the two, if I
Okay.
may ask?
This has green tea extracts in
Okay.
it. So in the morning, it gets you up, it gets you moving.
Oh, okay.
But the
I can
bad,
always use that in the morning.
But the bad part about this is I love my teas.
Mm-hmm.
And I find out I'm not as interested in having my tea early in the morning. But in the wintertime, a good cup of hot tea is really good. So
Yeah.
this is 1 serving of Moringa oleifera and green tea to get the caffeine.
And that is
This
2 servings.
This is 2 servings.
Okay, now, the difference between that is like green tea, right?
Right.
And this is what?
2 servings of Moringa oleifera.
Oh, okay.
No.
The other one doesn't have the I can't even pronounce that name. Moringa oleifera?
Yeah,
Oleifera?
it does.
Oh,
It
they
does.
both do?
They
okay.
both. This one
Okay.
you get 2. This one you get 1.
Okay.
So this is a 2. This is a
This is a
2.
1.
But
Now-
no, it's got the tea and
Do you
then
take them both daily?
There are people that have gotten really good at this stuff, and they will mix them together.
Oh, wow.
You could take it twice a day,
Okay.
and then there's a smart mix that they have, which has 1 serving of the Moringa oleifera, and then it has probiotics for your stomach, if you have stomach. So I take one of these a day, and one or the other, and the actual cost to a distributor is $3.88, and that's including your tax and your shipping. And you buy, it comes to you every month, and you can.
What's the total cost? That's
$122, I think,
Okay.
is what goes on my Visa each month.
And how long will that last?
1 month.
Okay.
And so sometimes I order this, sometimes I order this, and then I can, for my auto ship, which you don't have to have. And then I will order the face products. I will order the oils. I mean, these products are so good and so pure and of the highest quality.
Well, tell us again when you'll be here. I know you
Okay.
said Saturday, and tonight there's a
Saturday,
meeting, right?
There's a meeting at Denny's, and we're having some of the highest earners in Zija here in Fresno.
Very interesting.
And you think, okay, this is a leveled marketing. To get into the company and to be able to purchase these healthy products, it is like a Costco membership of $20.
Oh my goodness, that's nothing.
That's nothing to get the whole
I'm curious. Now, I probably shouldn't
price.
ask this question, but I'm
Please
always
do.
curious about what people make in MLMs, because I was in an MLM, and it was a very successful MLM for me. I'm not going to mention what it was, but I made a great deal of money at that. And so I know that they do work. Now,
They do work.
What do you think the top earners make in this? What, just a ballpark?
Oh
maybe?
my gosh, I haven't even gotten that far because Ken Brelford is an extremely rich man on his own.
Mm-hmm.
This company somebody told me that the different pools and things, it's like 52% can come back to you as income.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
as you build up, you can build up to, say, 52%. But as you get up to the level of a diamond, and these are things that I am so concerned about the health and nutrition. Other people,
They're concerned about actually making
the money.
Yes.
Yes, the money. But so you get up to the level of diamond. And as the gentleman that's coming tonight to speak says, wouldn't you like to make your monthly salary as a weekly salary?
That's an
That
incentive.
would be a very great incentive.
Well, I would suggest that if you're interested in this and you need to make some extra money, that you show up at Denny's at what time tonight?
6:30.
Which Denny's now?
On Shaw and First.
Sean First, okay.
But then after you get up to the level of diamond, then you are awarded $400 a month as a car allowance. And if you choose to, they have their Benz Club, which means that you can, if you were to purchase, and everything's in your name, Mercedes-Benz that is not five years old or less, they give you $800 a month.
Oh, my goodness.
And then at somewhere up in this level, there is these huge pots of money that are being divided up, the profits of the company. So, I mean, there is big money in this and a lot of health for people.
Oh, it sounds wonderful. It does.
Thank you.
And I appreciate you coming on and explaining this, and especially for seniors. It sounds like something that could really help. I mean, with the aches and the pains and the things that elderly go
Absolutely.
through. And you had explained about some oils earlier that
The oils are they are clinical grade. They are not therapeutic grade. We are the only company with clinical grade. And thank you, Robert. Here, I'll pass this over.
Okay. Thank you, Robert, very much.
Clinical grade, and so you can take them internally. And on the bottom of each bottle, you can go onto the internet and find out exactly where that oil came from, how it was processed,
That's
how
what
it
you showed me
was
earlier, the numbers at the
tested.
bottom, yeah.
There are 5 steps there. It is of the highest quality. And yesterday I was in one of our grocery stores and smelled some of the oils there, and I'm going, these smell like they've come out of a weed patch. But when you smell our oils,
They smell more natural, I assume. Right?
like you just took and broke the stem of a peppermint plant or rosemary or any of them. So mark your calendars for tonight and Saturday because you'll get two different talks.
Okay.
So, and I hope to see you there.
Well, I'm going to do my best. I'm very interested in this. You and I are going to talk about this probably at some other date. I want to, before I go to commercial break, I just want to thank you for coming on and explaining this. I think this is very beneficial and will be very beneficial to a lot of people. So I want to thank you.
Oh, thank you, Ray.
And I hope you come back anytime. You have a worthwhile product that I think can help a lot of people. So you feel free to come on my show anytime
Fresno
you like.
is the best place to live. I could live any place I wanted to right now, but my roots are right here in Fresno.
We have some good lives here. I love saying that. We have some good lives here.
People talk to each other in the grocery store. I'll tell you some of my stories later on about having a foreign exchange student from Thailand.
Okay, we'll talk about that.
And what she learned about people. Thank you.
We're going to go to a commercial here, go to a break, pay some bills, and we'll be back in 2 and 2.
From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains.
I'm back, and I've got to tell you, Gary Clemente, my great friend, drove like a madman all the way from the coast to get here to be on this show, and we're going to talk about politics here in just a little bit. But in closing out about Black Lives Matter, I want to tell you a sad story, and I'm very emotional about this when I heard this story about this beautiful young child. You see his picture there on the screen. Tyshawn Lee was a 9-year-old straight-A student growing up on the south side of Chicago, with a mother that nurtured him and tried to keep him away from gang members and the gang life. And she did a pretty good job, you know. She actually put a basketball court, one of those basketball hoops that we all see on the streets, outside her apartment window so she could watch him from her kitchen window. Well, one day, she apparently got a phone call and was called away. And during that time, a 22-year-old, I'm going to say it, piece of crap, African-American gang member lured this young child into the alley with the promise of money and shot him 1 time in the head and 4 times in the chest, and he killed him. Now, my question to you is, if Black Lives Matter, and they do, but if they truly matter, where were they when this young child was killed? Where were they to comfort this mother, maybe get aid for this mother? The aid came, by the way, from Caucasians and people who read the story, and they went and helped this mother, who I understand tried to commit suicide. Now, my latest account of this is that she is working with foster children now because she was such a great mother, and I wish her well, and I pray for her and hope that it happens. But I can't help but think that where was Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton, with cries for justice for this child? And my answer is they weren't there, and I'll tell you why. Because the killing of a beautiful young black child does nothing to further their political agenda like one killing of a black man by a white cop. It's fact. There it is. That is the truth, Black Lives Matter needs to wake up. They need to march through their own streets and clean up their own backyard. Because, as I said earlier, 90% of blacks killed in America, 90% are killed by other blacks. That's 9 out of 10. Now, that comes, and I can't remember where, I checked it out from the FBI. You can do it yourself, from the FBI files or the Department of Justice. I'm not sure which. Do your homework. Before you get out and shout and cause accidents that happen down south and cause terrible killings like what happened in Dallas and what happened. I want you to know that those 7 comrades, those 7 wonderful men who will not be going home to their families, 3 in Baton Rouge and 5 in Dallas, that I salute their courage and I applaud their innate sense of right, and I honor their immortal memory. I thank you. My buddy Gary is here.
Well said, Ray.
Thank you,
As
buddy.
always, you are so eloquent.
Thank you.
and the way that you bring things up. And, you know, I want to say one thing before.
Good.
I haven't had a chance to say this about Mike Briggs. Mike is the captain of this ship here.
Yes, he is.
And this forum that we have, that Mike is giving us, Voices Not Yet Heard, that you are promoting and giving a voice to, Mike is giving people like us, you and I and others, the chance to speak
Mike's
up
awesome.
and to exercise
Mike
our
is
Second
just
Amendment
awesome. I can't
right.
say it. Mike is
God
awesome,
bless
man.
you, Mike.
Yeah, you are awesome,
the Second
Mike.
Amendment
Thank
man.
you, Gary. I should have said. I'm
First
ashamed.
First Amendment, man. I'm sorry. That's the second. I know he loves the Second Amendment too, but there's First Amendment, freedom of speech. That's what it's all about.
You know, and thank you for saying that. And I wish I'd said it. Mike is just awesome. We all love Mike. Okay, let's talk a little bit about. Gary and I both can't wait for tonight, because tonight Ivanka Trump is gonna introduce her dad, and we're in for some changes in this country, ladies and gentlemen, because of Donald Trump. We're in for some changes. Gary has his Trump shirt on. I mean, his Trump hat, and I, of course, I have 9 of these, by the way, and I'm wearing my purple one today. And I wear my Trump shirt every day. And I made a pledge to myself that I am going to put this shirt on every single day. I wear it to my business. And I'm going to wear this shirt until President Trump walks into the White House, because that's what's going to happen in this country. There's a movie
and I'm
coming.
sure that you were washing those shirts every day, too.
I just washed 4 of them before I came here. They're in the dryer. I haven't put them in the dryer yet, you know. But anyway, this is so much fun. I love talking about Donald Trump, and I hope.
Me too.
I hope that
it's amazing.
I want to say something about Hillary Clinton. There is a movie coming out tomorrow on the 22nd.
Hillary's America.
Hillary's America.
Everybody needs to go watch that.
You need to go
movie.
watch that. Like Gary said, you need to watch this. Gary, I'm going to kind of turn it on to you, because I know you've got a lot of things to say, and let's talk about. We can talk about Hillary, or we can talk about Trump. It's your choice. We'll end up talking about both.
The two of them are interchangeable.
Absolutely.
I mean, my gosh, you can't talk about Trump without Hillary, because they're battling it out. There's so many things going on. Number one, I do want to say, watch Hillary's America by Dinesh D'Souza, because that money that they take in the first weekend of the movie really kind of determines the popularity of the movie. If they can come out with a big box office number the first weekend, everybody's going to say, "Wow, this documentary is a smash. We all need to go see it."
Absolutely.
And why are they
Please
seeing
go
it?
see it.
Because Hillary needs to get locked up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like they say at the
Crooked Hillary,
the
she
convention.
needs to be in prison. I've said this before on the show. You know, if they can convict General Petraeus, you know, Hillary, for doing 1/10 of what Hillary did, then Hillary Clinton should be in jail, ladies and gentlemen. That's where she belongs, you know. And if she gets away with this, they ought to pardon Petraeus and everyone else that has done so much less.
Yeah, they ought to expunge all of my traffic tickets that I've had over the years, get rid of them out the door.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'll be a free man. But my gosh, you know, why didn't, you know, I was talking with my sister today about this. She said, why didn't they just arrest the woman to begin with? She broke crimes.
They have arrested a lot of people for a lot less,
broke
Gary.
the law. Why didn't they just arrest her?
Absolutely.
If it was you or me doing the same thing,
oh, we would be in jail.
we would have had the
been in
FBI
jail.
knocking on our doors. They would have hauled us in.
Absolutely.
It doesn't matter if you're a big shot or a little shot. The law is the law.
I've always said, you know, if Hillary Clinton gets away with this, well, she has gotten away with it so far. I think we ought to change it to liberty and justice for all, to liberty and justice for some.
Well, tell me about it. My gosh, this is what Trump is fighting for. Trump is what people like about Donald Trump is the fact that this is the man who's a billionaire who can talk to normal people on a very down-to-earth manner. And with all of this money, you would think that he would, get away with murder himself like Hillary. But you don't sense that from Donald Trump. You sense that this is a regular guy who helps people out. This is a man that an older couple helped him out on the road. His car broke down. Donald Trump's car broke down.
I'm going to love this story.
And this couple stopped to help him. I don't know if they knew who he was or not, but he helped them. Because of the fact that they stopped to help him and his car broke down, he did the unbelievable thing of paying off the rest of their mortgage.
Is that a great American story, ladies and gentlemen? This is Donald Trump. And if you want to
Have you heard any stories about Hillary Clinton doing that?
Hillary Clinton wouldn't do that.
No.
I mean, Hillary Clinton sold this country out for her sake. For her sake. She sold this country out. That's the bottom line, ladies and gentlemen.
Right.
She sold this country out for her benefit.
And she feels that she's entitled to be the president.
Yeah.
I'm so entitled. You just look at Hillary's eyes, and you get that sense that this is a woman that it's all about herself.
You know, I heard
and nobody else. It's not about helping other people, not about helping this country, but about helping herself, right?
I heard a journalist, and it seems like now all I do is tune into Fox or CNN since I've had this show because I want to absorb as much as I can. And so late last night, I heard a journalist make the remark about, well, you know, Hillary Clinton is qualified because she's been in office so much. She was a senator. She was Secretary of State. She was First Lady. Does that qualify? Length of time does not qualify you for being president of the United States, ladies and gentlemen. You know, you can be there for 50 years, and that still does not qualify you for running the highest office in the land.
It's what you do in office
Absolutely.
Once you've attained that position. It's not getting the office. It's what you do in office. If Donald Trump is a billionaire, but what does he do as a billionaire?
Absolutely.
He helps other people out. He's not just in it for himself. He creates tens of thousands of jobs for people.
I got to say something, Gary.
And Hillary Clinton had the nerve the other day to say that Donald Trump has not accomplished anything. I heard this. I fell off my chair and said, "You've got to be kidding me. Donald Trump hasn't accomplished anything?"
She's reaching, isn't she? She is really reaching. America knows better. And America is starting to wake up. We have to wake up. You want to take a good look at Donald Trump? Look at his family. What a fantastic family. I can't wait for his oldest daughter to speak tonight. I cannot wait for that. I'm going home.
I'm excited about it.
I'm going to get my bologna and cheese sandwich, and I'm going to sit right there, and I'm going to watch Donald Trump.
I'm going to get my pizza, and I'm
yeah.
going to sit down, I'm going to park myself with my wife, and I'm going to watch the speech.
This is
amazed.
To me, everybody knows that I'm a baseball nut. This is like watching the New York Yankees. I can't wait to get there. I'm all excited about it. I want to hear what this great man, this next president of these United States, is going to tell us American people tonight.
It will be exciting. I'm really interested in hearing Ivanka, his daughter, speak.
Oh, me too.
Before you know, Mike Pence in his speech yesterday, he said something about the Trump kids. He said, "You can't fake kids."
No, you cannot.
He said, "Aren't they amazing?
Every one of them.
Else.
They're just like Donald Trump. I mean, they're go-getters. You know what I mean? Who do you want in the White House? Do you want a person that's lied about absolutely everything, Benghazi, and we've gone over this, and the emails and all that? Or do you want somebody who started out, a year ago, Donald Trump stood on the stage with 17 people, okay? There's only one standing now. Everybody else has fell by the wayside. And another thing, let's talk about Ted Cruz. Let's talk about Ted Cruz.
Oh, my gosh. Did you see what happened yesterday?
Unbelievable.
Oh, my God.
Let me tell you
Everybody's
something.
still in a state of shock.
Ted Cruz and Jeb Bush, the first night, if you remember, the first night of debates, Gary, I think you and I watched it together.
Right.
I think we did. And the media pinned Donald Trump to the wall. They said, we want to know if you're elected, because there was rumors about him maybe going to an independent party, maybe doing that.
Right.
And so they pinned him to the wall, and they made him make a pledge to support whoever became president.
He held it up. He showed everybody.
Everybody.
He signed the pledge.
And there was so much controversy about that the next day, the next debate, which I think was 10, 12 days later, they made everyone else sign it, okay?
Exactly.
Everybody signed that pledge. Now, Jeb Bush reneged on that. Kasich reneged on it.
Right.
And Ted Cruz last night reneged on it, you know.
Right.
I mean, these are the people that should come together. I mean, do they want Hillary Clinton in the White House? They should be supporting Donald Trump.
Exactly.
And what they did was they lied.
Right.
They did not honor their pledge, you know. I wonder what their future with this party is. I know with me, they've lost all merit with me, all of it.
everybody was telling Ted Cruz, "Your word is your bond. Your word is your bond." You know what happened? The latest news is that after he walked off, people found out that Donald Trump knew exactly what he was going to say in the speech because he saw a copy of it. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Oh,
This is brand new to me.
He knew what was going to happen in the speech, and at the end, when Cruz was wrapping up, Donald Trump came out. Did you notice that? And everybody was saying, "Yeah, we want Trump. We want Trump." He knew what was going to happen. He came out to upstage Ted Cruz,
Beautiful.
and that's exactly what he did.
I saw that.
It was brilliant. He did that purposely to upstage Ted Cruz
And it
because he
worked.
knew what was going to happen in the speech.
Oh. Please, ladies and gentlemen, do your homework. Like, Gary said, go see this movie. Go to the Dredge Report, and do your own homework. Find out about what's going on.
Go to Breitbart News, Breitbart.com. It's an excellent site. A lot of Trump material in there, a lot of conservative material in there that you need to read.
You need to do
site.
your homework.
Breitbart.
You need to do this. You need to find out about this man, and we need to find a way for these people. One way is the movie that's coming out.
Yes,
That's
yeah.
gonna divulge a lot.
People need to see it. They need to go. They need to support the movie. Another one that's coming out too is from the book Clinton Cash.
Clinton Cash.
Clinton
I didn't know
Cash,
that.
yes, by Peter Schweitzer.
Okay.
That book was a big bombshell about all of the irregularities and incongruities and illegalities that the Clintons have put forth through the Clinton Foundation. All of the skullduggery that's happened through the Clinton Foundation. That documentary is coming out shortly. I think just before or after the Democratic National Convention next week. Clinton Cash is another one to watch.
Okay.
Big
All right,
bombshell
Clinton
movie.
Cash. We're gonna take a break. We're gonna go to a commercial here, and we will be back, ladies and gentlemen, in 2 and 2.
To be living here today.
I'm back with Gary Clemente here, and I'm just thrilled that this man drove all the way over here to be on my show, and I am absolutely thrilled.
Thanks for
Gary,
having me, Ray.
Well, I'm glad to have you. You're
You're the
welcome
man.
anytime, and I'll tell you, people call in. They want to hear what you have to say because you are a wealth of. Yes, they do, because you have a wealth
Is
of
that
information. That's I've heard from a lot of people. Okay, what do we talk about? You want to talk about?
How about the convention?
Let's
How
talk
some
about
of the things
that.
at the Republican National Convention. Some amazing speeches, not
Absolutely.
just boring things. I think this convention really has been one of the most exciting conventions I've ever watched. All of the other, and I think it trickles down from Donald Trump.
I think it does.
Trump doesn't talk like a typical politician, and it's so important to understand. That's how he connects with people on a very, very, a basic way.
Absolutely.
People see that they say, this man talks like a regular guy. He's a regular Joe. I want to listen to him.
His children were talking about last night.
Eric Trump is amazing.
Eric Trump is just outstanding, and he was the one who said, when we went to work for my dad, we didn't start at the top.
Right.
They put him right down with the blue-collar workers, and they started from there, and they worked their way up.
Oh, him and his brother said, we are probably the only two billionaire sons that know how to drive a Caterpillar.
Mm-hmm.
And
Isn't that amazing?
Those things are hard.
Isn't that amazing?
Yes, yeah.
He made them work like his father made him work. He is a great man. He is a great American, and he's going to be president of these United States. Thank goodness. He's going to make it.
I agree with you. Look, the people are talking. When you hear people talking about, is there going to be a landslide for Trump? And you don't hear about Hillary. You hear about is there going to be a landslide for Trump? You don't hear about Hillary Clinton.
No, you don't.
You know who Michael Moore is?
Yes, I do.
The documentary filmmaker, a real left-wing guy. Today he said Donald Trump is going to win.
He said that?
Yes,
He's
said
a real
that.
leftist, this guy. Real leftist, isn't he?
Oh, my gosh. If for him to say that,
That's
he must
amazing.
have given up a long time ago.
Yeah, absolutely. we're going to have to close out here pretty quick, and I want to thank Gary. I really do. He adds so much to this show for coming, and
Thanks for
I want
having
you
me.
to tell. I'm going to put you on the spot.
Thank Mike too.
Yeah, I'm going to put you on the spot because I want you to tell me right here in front of my audience that you're going to be back.
I'll be back. You can listen to me now. You can believe me later. I'll be back. I'll come back as Arnold.
He's a man of, as you can tell, he's a man of many voices. I want to close two ways tonight. I always like to close with a little something to think about, and I want to put a little twist on it today. You know, I'm very concerned about the loss of our law enforcement officers. I'm very concerned about that. So the other day, I was driving along and I saw two CHPs, and I got out and I went over and I shook their hands, and it was what a pleasant experience. And I told them I was sorry for their fallen comrades, and you would not believe the response that they gave me. It was absolutely wonderful. So here's what I'm going to ask you to do this week. When you see a policeman sitting in a car, maybe he's having lunch, go over and thank him for what he does. Just like we all do that for our veterans, let's start doing that for our law enforcement officers, okay? Let's do that. So let me say, until we joyously meet again, which will be next Thursday, heaven's blessings.
CentralValleyTalk.com